2025 SSA Tom Egg Czarnik Class A No Glove National Championship in Schaumburg at Olympic Park. So glad you could join us on a Saturday afternoon. What you're about to see is 16-inch style softball, 60-foot bases, can lead off but you can't steal, 38 feet from the rubber to the point of home plate. 6-12 on the arc, open count. We're playing no glove, you're seeing it correct. And pitcher gets a drag step, one step left, right, or back, two fakes or hesitation, third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A throw or fake to a base is one of your fakes or hesitations. 300 feet down the lines, 305 to dead center. Anything that bounces over, through, or under the fence is a ground rule triple. So we're battling a little heat today.
Let's go, boys.
And hopefully the cameras will hold up. So here's Matt Scott leading off for Menace, then Tommy Evett and Dan Higgins. So this is our first look at this Los Lobos team out of Iowa. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about them. But we thought we'd let the people in Iowa see some of their own. And there's a strike. Of course, Menace has been one of the more solid A teams here in Illinois for quite some time. And Matt Scott goes high in the air. Outfielder, center fielder attracted nicely. And Los Lobos does have a lot of good-looking athletes that are put together pretty good. A lot of these guys were 12-inch guys. So we'll see how they handle it. And I think your initial thought process would be you want to see if they can maybe pick the ball up. You can see the pitcher there kind of didn't know exactly how to step off the mound. He's probably not used to the drag step because a lot of the stuff in Iowa, of course, is played with the mitts. So here's Tommy Evett, and there's a little soft blooper that falls in. Evett is on, so that's the first hit of the ball game. So here we go now. Brings up third place hitter, the catcher, Dan Higgins. Menace did look good last night. And there's a humpback line drive in front of the left fielder. So back-to-back hits here for Menace. And with one out, they got a little something brewing. And brings up Popcorn, the extra hitter.
Look at the pants on. Fucking serious business.
So it's a little bit of a feeling out process. The one thing we did hear about the Lobos were that they swing the bats pretty good. And that's kind of a leap there. It's supposed to be a step. So here's Popcorn. Popcorn goes hard down the line. That's trouble. It's over the top of the left fielder. One run is in, two runs are in. Popcorn's going to get to third. And Menace with an early 2-0 lead. So Popcorn airmailed it up over the top of the left fielder. And Menace jumps up 2-0. Brings up Joe Benson, the left fielder. And Popcorn, of course, was the... There's a little ground ball, and he shoots it through the infield.
Look at it.
And just looking back on that, I'll see if I got a replay. You can see their short center playing very shallow. He was almost even with the base there. And he had no angle to go and get that.
We got one out.
Well, we're going to jump back here because the hitter jumped in right away. So 3-0 Menace on the infield hit that rolled through the infield. Brings up Greg Yursich. Again, I'm fighting a little bit of a glare here today, so if I don't get to your comments, bear with me. And there's a line drive base hit. So Menace here stringing some hits together. And they've jumped up 3-0. It brings up the short center, Joe Brannigan.
We got one.
Still only one out here. Brannigan, a little short pop-up. That's trouble. Second baseman got there. Nice play by the second baseman, covered a lot of ground. Left fielder was not going, or right fielder was not going to get to that. So with 2 outs now, the third baseman, Chris Camarillo. So both runners will be moving on the swing here. Menace an early 3-0 lead.
Hey, what do you say, Chris? Do your job, kid. Find some green.
Pitcher Brian Crosdale on deck. And I think the hitter thought there was a little too much time. He asked for timeout and he received it. My initial thoughts here on the Lobos pitcher is he's trying to use the drag step, and there's a little flare down the line that's going to drift foul out of play. Not much wind today, not like we've had all summer out here in Chicago. There is a little bit of a breeze. Should not affect the proceedings very much.
Hey, Greg, 2 dead.
And there's a pickoff play, not in time. Camarillo up the middle, short center will just step on it. But in the inning, Menace pushes 3 across, and we'll head to the bottom of the first. So the scheduled hitters are Quinn Kamoy, Alex Hovey, and Brett Rettenmeyer coming up for the Lobos.
Nothing changes. Keep saying shit from yesterday.
Lock it down, boys. Let's go. Big 0.
I'd like to thank some of our sponsors, Sweet Buzz. They make infused products. If you're an adult and you use them, check them out. Nick Drabo, short center for Moneyline, co-owner of that company. So if you're out at a ballpark, feel free to reach out to him. I'd also like to thank Ziegler, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, who helped to underwrite the tournament. Right here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Ray Czarnik, Scotty Czarnik. You need a vehicle, go see him. So here's Quinn Kamoy leading off for Los Lobos. Again, our first look at this team. And there's a high fly ball going back as a center fielder, and he makes the catch. Over the shoulder, running catch by the center fielder. That ball seems like anything hit out that way is carrying a little bit. What brief breeze we have does seem to be pushing out a little bit in that direction.
Careful, Tommy. Tommy, careful.
And replay doesn't seem to be working. It seems like every time we get in the heat. And there's a swing and a base hit for Alex Hovey. He just guided it through the open hole.
Come on, Marie.
So again, we're going to hope that the camera doesn't overheat on us. It did out in Melrose a little bit. So we struggled to get through a game out there.
People have been trying to hit me for years. Hasn't happened.
Well, 10 deep won. I'm not sure if I updated the bracket because I had to hustle to get out here. And there's a swing, and he walks the dog down the line, but Evitt gets there. Left-handed throw to first. Safe. So great job by Evitt. It looked like that was going to drop. Evitt, a long strider, relatively tall kid with long arms, got there. So what we want to tell you about 10 deep. If you go to the live bracket, they did win. So you can kind of see where they fall into the bracket, even if it's not updated. And a lot of those 230 games, I think some of them might be waiting for winners, or losers, I should say. So nice play there. And here's a towering pop-up. And Evett got there and dropped it. That's going to score a run. And now the ball gets away, but no advancement. So Zach Woodside, can't read the writing, hit a little duck snort, came down with a parachute. Evett got there, but dropped it. So Los Lobos on the board here at 3-1. Brings up Ben Rettenmeyer. So again, that's and there's a little overhand cut. It's going to fall in front of the left fielder. So Lobos with a little something going on here. And those are the plays. Evett ran a long way to get there. We got a high sky here. There's no clouds, and he might have been looking up in the sun. And here's Drew Irvine. So
Get set, Drew.
and there's a strike there. So again, this is a game when you play a team that can hit a little bit, and that's a little flare, and the left fielder covers some ground. So they get a run off the drop fly ball. Can't do anything more, and we'll head to the second, 3-1. So coming up, it's going to be Brian Crosdale, Sal Ramondo, and Creed Costello, the bottom third of the Menace lineup. And last night, I know if you guys look on the board, Lobos put up 30, but Lobos were having a little problem defensively. Although the Lobos hit some balls pretty hard there. Now Brian Crosdale stepping into the box. This is a pretty solid pitcher, so we'll see how they do today. And that's a good approach, depending on how much these guys play. And there's a little fly ball that's going to be gobbled up by the right fielder. That's always one of the things you got to look at too. If a guy's not playing a ton of 16-inch softball, now he comes and pitches, it's a little different. So you always wonder whether or not they make the adjustment. And there's Sal Ramondo, but it's going to be right to the right fielder. So 2 up, 2 down, and Lobos, they're really not playing all that deep in the outfield. It's a little deceptive because these are big cut infields here. And here's Creed Costello, Matt Scott on deck. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the top of the second. And Creed lashes it right down the line. Third baseman got a hand on it, potentially saving a double, but 2-out base runner. Creed Costello brings up Matt Scott, top of the lineup. These games are being played at Olympic Park in Schaumburg, Illinois. And there's a strike. And that flew out his first time.
I need you scoring on this gap, Creed.
And that's flat, but you can see how shallow that short center is playing. And that really cuts down on your ability to get to some of these ground balls. And Matt tries to pull, but it's going to die. And he called him out there. He did get his hands underneath the ball there. It was kind of popped up in the air, and he cradled it to his chest. So Matt Scott is out, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. Coming up, it's going to be Chris Dahl, Noah Atkinson, and Henry McNeely. So Menace goes dry in the top of the second. Lobos coming up. And I'm hoping Will Russ gets out here. He might do a 4 o'clock or a 5:30 game. Of course, Will works until about 3 o'clock.
Oh, need a 0. Let's go, boys.
And there's a swing off of Brian all the way back to the catcher. He tried to make a play. So Chris Dahl bangs one off the pitcher, and he finds himself on base.
Play Higgins.
He brings up Noah Atkinson.
I don't know. Probably. It's cool, though, so it's fine.
And there's a little pop-up. No chance for Costello. And it just bounces harmlessly over there. Beautiful day out here. Bright sunshine. This is a nice park. They got a lot of trees and shade. And last game tonight is at 5:30. So if you're in the area or you want to come out and check out some of these A teams, come on out. So reset here. Little hard ground ball. Third to short center. Brannigan. And they twist a double play right around the horn there. Third baseman, Yursich, fired it to Brannigan, and he got it over to Scott. So quick 2 outs here. Brings up Henry McNally, short center. So that was a good pitch there by Crosdale. He's a little flat, a little inside, and there's a sky-high fly ball, center fielder. A little back and forth, but he makes the catch. So we're going to head to the third. 3-1 Menace. And I will get the scoreboard changed here if I can fight the glare.
Come on, boys, let's get a rally going!
So with the double play, Lobos go 1-2-3. It's going to be Tommy Evett, Dan Higgins, and Popcorn. Mike Kozman, I never can say his name. So we'll just call him Popcorn. So if you're Menace now, again playing no glove with the drag step, even though they scored a lot of runs yesterday, it's still a little bit of an adjustment period with new angles. And sooner or later, good hitters will start to hit the ball. So if you're Menace, you don't want to sit on your 3. And Evett, sky high pop-up. And that ball even carried a little bit. Now as I'm facing the right fielder, I can feel a little breeze to my back. So it's been relatively calm, although as we get to around 3 o'clock out here in the Chicagoland area, the winds usually pick up for a couple hours. And the top of the trees, first time in this game, blowing a little bit. So here's Higgins. And he hits a little flare down the line. Everybody chasing, can't get to it. So Higgins, a little duck snort. Second baseman showing some great range. He got out there. And I just noticed the second baseman's right leg, I don't know if that's a brace. You can see it's all covered up there, but he got out there, and there is a little bit of a slope once you get to the grass there. And Pretty amazing that he got a hand on it. Here's Popcorn. Long triple to left, and the left fielder has backed up on him. Popcorn tries to go big down the right field line and just foul. That ball had a chance, but downward flight. So I heard somebody say there should be a rule against that. After he airmailed one to left, he was trying to flip him down the right field line. And Popcorn was a little aggravated. He felt like he had a good pitch to go that way, but let the barrel dip on him and had just enough of that spin to have it slice foul. And now Popcorn, towering fly ball. Center fielder got a beat on it, comes in and makes the play. So 2 outs now for Joe Benson. Higgins will be running on the swing. And there's a little chopper to third. Long throw across, a little too tall. Safe. Third baseman, he caught it. He was in good position. Got the elbow up, but it looked like his elbow came through a little bit too fast. The hand ended up almost shot putting it or throwing it from underneath, and that ball sailed. Brings up Greg Yursich, the third baseman. And there's a swing, and it's going to be right at the center fielder. So Yursich didn't quite barrel up. Ball just kind of lazy fly ball to center. So we head to the bottom of the third inning. It's going to be Adam Gross, Sid Beck, and then back to the top with Quinn Kamoy. So again, Menace 3 in the first. And when you go dry back-to-back like that, you give your opponent a chance to kind of get their legs back under them after you kind of gave them a jab in the first inning. And you see this a lot too when you have out-of-state teams playing each other, or an out-of-state team, local, however you want to put it. That a lot of times there's a little bit of a feeling out process because you don't really know the other guy. So sometimes the games start a little slow and then they pick up a little steam later on. And there's a little try to cut it. Center fielder got a good read, and you can see they got that atypical 12-inch swing a lot of times, the way some of these guys are holding the bat and they just try to rotate the hands and kind of flip or slap at that pitch. Now, with a 12-inch, if you generate enough force, you can really launch a 12-inch, but 16-inch ball's a little bit trickier to do that. And right now, a lot of those swings are just generating fly balls. So here's Sid Beck, and he throws a hit toward right center. Evett cuts it off, spins and throws. Easy stand-up double for Sid Beck. So 1 out, 1 on, back to the top of the lineup, and Quinn Kamoy. I do not have an update for that. I don't know if there's anybody in the park over there watching the stream and the game. And there's a hard ground ball, and it sneaks through. So second run for Lobos trots across, and we got a 3-2 game. I think Joe Brannigan might have thought that Brian Crosdale was maybe going to make a play on that. because he kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know if he got screened. So here's Alex Hovey, 3-2 ball game, bottom of the third. And Hovey line drive, base hit, and coming in hard on it. And Hovey telling his guys to hit it where they're not. So here's Brett Rettenmeyer, the shortstop. I did get some good reports on Brett. They say he's an excellent short center. Soft line drive, and they get the second double play of the game. As the runner at second got off the bag there, Cree, the shortstop, threaded the needle. And they get Quinn Kamoy at second. So we're going to go top of the fourth, 3-2 ball game. Menace in 3 innings, 2 double plays, really helping their cause out a little bit. And it is going to be Joe Brannigan, Chris Camarillo, and Brian Crosdale coming up. So we're approaching the halfway point, 3-2 ball game. And I would think right now, if you're Menace, you got to get moving here, because Lobos are starting to put some better swings on the ball. Brannigan, center fielder, will eat that up. So right now, a few too many fly balls if you're a Menace fan. So it brings up Camarillo. And again, I think when we get these teams that are just starting to play no glove, that haven't done it, the one thing you kind of assume is that the outfielders will generally catch the ball. And the big question mark is always the infielders. Inside here. So the pitcher's been throwing lefty. Actually tried to throw him 2 pitches ago. And he walks the dog into right field. Tries to throw behind. And you all know my theory on that. There's really no upside on it. So 1 out base hit for Crosdale. Camarillo, good speed on first.
Come on hard, Brian.
And Brian, a little slow roller to second, little bobble, but he'll be able to recover. Could see there, he lifted his head right at the last minute. I don't know if he wanted to see where Camarillo was at. And it brings up a 2-out scoring opportunity for the center fielder, Sal Ramondo. With Creek Costello on deck. And that's going to be an easy fly ball to right field. So they can't do anything with the base hit. Halfway through, 3-2 Menace. And it'll be Zach. Sorry, folks, this is bad handwriting. Woodside, Brett Rettenmeyer, and Drew Irving coming up here in the bottom of the fourth, halfway through. So wherever you are on this beautiful Saturday, if you're checking us out, we appreciate it. Tell your friends, like, follow our page. Helps us do what we do. If you come out to the park, take note of the banners that are out here. And if you need any of the services of the people that support us, please support the people that support 16-inch softball. So here's Zach Woodside. That's a strike there. And there's a bullet. Brannigan can't get to it. Leadoff base hit. So it looks like the Lobos want to try to pick on that middle. And at some point, Brian's going to have to make a play for Menace up the middle here. So here's Ben Rettenmeyer. And there he walks the dog into right field. Woodside will get to third. Evan gets it in. Runners on the corner, nobody out. So Ben flipped one into left field his last time and then goes to right field this time.
Your way last time, Greg.
Brings up Drew Irving.
What's up, Green Greg?
So we told you, Lobos were starting to put some better swings on the ball. And that ball hit into center. Raimondo, that ball flew over his head. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in. He's hustling to third. The throw, not in time. He dropped it anyway. So a 2-run triple by Drew Irvin. And that ball stayed up in the air and just kept traveling. And Lobos grabbed their first lead of the day at 4-3. So Menace scored 3 in the first. They've now gone dry 3 in a row. Kind of left the door ajar here. Nobody out. Brings up Chris Dahl. So if you're Menace here, you can't really worry about the runner on third. You just want to get 3 outs. And that ball, Brian does make the play. Look the runner back. So it's going to bring up the second baseman, Noah Atkinson. And there's a long one going back to the corner. It's over the left fielder's head. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. This will be a 2-run homer for the second baseman, Noah Atkinson. So he got that up in the jet stream, and the ball just carrying as Brian Crosdale flattened out there. And I'm hoping I got the right score up there. Brings up Henry McNally, still only 1 out here. And like I said, usually kind of figured as the game went on, Lobos would start putting better swings on it, and they have, and now there's a line drive through the infield, so Lobos starting to get into rhythm here. It's going to bring up Adam Gross. 6-3, so they've erased the 3-run lead. And again, Lobos came in with the reputation as being good hitters. And Matt Scott made a nice adjustment. Runner was going back to the bag. He had to kind of change course a little bit. And he gets there for out number 2. Brings up Sid Beck. So when you play a team that the advanced scouting report says can swing it, you have to kind of understand that as a group you've got to score some runs. And right now Menace stuck on that 3, just trying to get out of this inning. 4-run inning so far. There's 3-2 coming in, I believe. And there's a line drive, another base hit. So Lobos cooking here. And they're going to send him. And I don't think anybody let the second baseman, Camarillo, know. He caught it and kind of turned the wrong way after he received it and took 2 or 3 steps, and by that time the run scored. So Sid Beck 2 for 2 in the ball game brings up Quinn Canoy, or Camoy. I don't know if it's Canoy or Camoy. So Menace right now. And there's a high pop-up. That ball is fading, and Evid got there. And I don't know if, see, that fence ends there. Right at the end, he kind of gate-armed it. I don't know if Tommy thought he was near a fence, but yeah, Lobos are the home team. So new life for Quinn. And he pounds it. Cree Costello goes the short way on the adjustment. And they get the 3rd out of the inning. As Alex Beck did not slide. And it ends up costing them there. So they do get out of the inning. But a good one for Lobos. And now we're going to head to the 5th. And again, in the no-glove game, 7 is not necessarily a huge output, but it's a bad combination when you stop hitting and the other guy picks up a few runs. Then they tend to get a little free and easy in the box. Sorry, folks, I grabbed a little water. So it's going to be Cree Costello, and then the top with Matt Scott and Tommy Evitt. Again, Menace in that first inning were hitting some line drives and some humpbacks, and since that time, too much oxygen under everything they're hitting. Cree, a little spinner.
Got it. Back your ball.
So Gio, a little toe tap to the first baseman. You knew I wasn't going to be able to bend over to get it. So here's Cree back in the box. And there he just strokes a hit. Nice job there. Long throw across, not in time. And Cree will stay here. I tell you, Noah Atkinson, he's got a knee brace on, but he is covering a lot of territory over here. So top of the lineup with Matt Scott. Menace down by 4. In games like this, as I like to say, your stars got to be stars. And that's why these guys are at the top of the lineup. And so Matt taking a couple of pitches, settling into his at-bat. And he goes hard the other way, and that's down. So first 2 hitters on here for Menace, top of the 5th.
Right guy, Tommy, come on.
Of course, this guy coaching first, Rich Aceves. Had Rich for a couple of years. There's Tommy Levitt. And Tommy goes hard, and the center fielder makes the catch. Everybody was running. Cree did tag. Matt Scott thought it was in the gap, but great job by the center fielder as he hustled on over and made a nice running 2-handed catch. So runners on the corner now for Dan Higgins. Tommy Evitt gave it a good ride. But that was a fine catch. Got a great jump on it. And tracked it down. Sorry, folks, I got coach in the way here. And there's a ball hit hard. Left fielder goes back, and he makes the catch. So Menace does score a run. 2 nice catches in this inning by Lobos outfielders. And they're in a position here where they can maybe minimize the damage now at 7-4. It brings up Popcorn. And that's been a little bit of the difference in the game, is a couple of nice catches here by the Lobos outfield. In last inning, they airmailed a couple over the top of the Menace outfield. So here's Popcorn up there.
Good pitch, hold.
Greg, Joe Benson on deck. And Popcorn tries to go hard to right, and right there. So we're getting ahead now, bottom of the 5th, 7-4 ball game. And I fear the Lobos are okay with that after the first 2 guys got on. The 2 balls that were scalded, but your outfield came through. So if you're the Lobos, you're okay with only giving up a run there. Now if you're Menace, you're in dire need of a goose egg as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's going to be Alex Hovey, Brett Rettenmeyer, and Zach Woodside coming up here, 2, 3, 4 for the Lobos. So big inning here as you're going to be facing the teeth of the Lobos lineup. And I tell you, he really is waving the bat in there. And I'm not a big fan of that. You got to be really strong to be able to do that. And you can see, even as he takes the step, he's waving that bat around. And unlike a 12-inch, you know, where you can just get the barrel on the ball and it will go. And there's a leadoff walk, the dreaded leadoff walk. So Hovey on brings up Brett Rettenmeyer, the shortstop. Crosdale jumps back and grabs a strike. And there's a hard overhand cut. Left fielder comes in. And that ball got out of the infield quick, or over the infield quick, and just died out there. And that's part of the problem when you're waving the bat like that. Sometimes you lose a lot in translation when you hit a bigger 16-inch ball.
He says I shouldn't have. He has a good arm.
So here's Zach Woodside.
He already told me.
Now you should.
So, and there's a ball in there wearing that slot up. And Brannigan couldn't get there. And so they've been doing a lot of business right up the middle. Zach Woodside gets the hit, and here's Brett Rettenmeyer. Cut to left, cut to right. And they are still playing a muffled deep, and Brett's just dropping that ball right in front of him. I'm sorry, this Ben. No, Brett. I keep getting the 2 of them a little confused. And there's a little slow roller. Camarillo.
Never touched him.
So Camarillo tagged him, but he tagged him with his bare hand. Another run scores. 8-4. Camarillo could have thrown to second, or he could have made sure he tagged the base runner. He ended up doing neither, and everybody's safe and a run in. And I don't know if he was trying to make contact with the runner there, but. And there's a swing, and he dumps it into right. Another run's going to score. Evans throw to third, not in time. Rettenmeyer underneath the slide. So Drew Irvin dumps a hit, and you can see as the games progress, they're putting better swings on it. And, you know, they've shown you a variety of stuff, that they can drive the ball and they can cut and push the ball. And so they've reached the 9 mark here in the bottom of the 5th. It's going to bring up Chris Dahl. So they make the pitching change. Rich Aceves coming in for Brian Crosdale. They are from Iowa. I'm not quite sure which part of Iowa the Lobos are from. So Chris Dahl in the box with Noah Atkinson on deck. And there he tries to go big. Ramondo belly catch. That will score the 10th run. So 10-4 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it brings up Noah Atkinson. And Atkinson goes hard. Left fielder makes the catch. So Noah Atkinson, high fly ball. We're going to head to the 6th. Menace in trouble here, because they need to put something crooked up there to get back in this ball game. So it's going to be Joe Benson, Greg Yursich, and Joe Brannigan. 5, 6, 7 coming up here. Now the wind has stopped momentarily. So here's Benson trying to get something started. And he hits a little squibber. Pitcher gets there, and the lefty makes the play. So 1 up, 1 down here. Brings up Greg Yelich. And he slaps it toward left. Left fielder right there makes the play. Quick inning so far. And it brings up Joe Brannigan. And we always talk about how you want to impose your will on the other guy. And that might be a little bit of what's happening right now on this Menace team. And there's a little flare. Noah goes out and makes the catch. I don't know why he's wearing a knee brace. He's running around like a deer. Bottom 6 coming up. Again, we'd like to thank Sweet Buzz and Ziegler. Also like to thank Rich Melman, Let Us Entertain You Restaurants. Rich, good friend of the SSA, has been around since day 1. back in 2011, our longest running sponsor. Also Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original handmade vodka. Please drink responsibly. And of course, the Czarnik family and Ray Czarnik. The idea for this tournament came about. Carlos Castleberry wanted to do a Class A No Glove National Championship. And
Big zero, let's
we
go.
ran the first one several years ago. And got approached by Ray. He wanted to honor his late brother, Tom Czarnik, and entrusted us with putting his name on the event. So it's been a good partnership, and we thank their family for trusting us. High pop-up, and Yurcich gets there for out number 1. So Henry McNally pops out to start the inning, brings up Adam Gross. Yeah, Future's tough, man. They were swinging the bats heavy last night. They had 2 run rule games, and we kind of thought in the dome they might be a problem. Good group, high energy, young team. So Rich Aceves here. Just trying to hold it here to give Menace a chance in the 7th, and there's a walk.
Henry, you got the worst
So
swing in the inning, bud.
Adam Gross gets a walk, brings up Sid Beck. And Sid line drive the other way, base hit. And Adam Gross sliding into 3rd. Now they're back to the top of the lineup here with Quinn.
Come on, Nemo, let's go.
I don't know if it's Kamoy or if those are 2 ends. Kanoy. And there's a hard ground ball, and that's going to sneak through. The 11th run is in. Sid Beck cruises into 3rd, 11-4. So runners on the corner. Alex Hovey, a long one, will get him to the mercy number. And there's a line drive snagged by Aceves. The 3rd double play Menace has turned in the game. And we head to a do or die 7th for Menace. They got a little work to do. (11-4), trailing by 7. Need 8 to keep the game going. So it's going to be Chris Camarillo, Rich Aceves, who came in for Crosdale, and Sal Romero. This game started a few minutes after 1 o'clock, so I'm not sure if any of the other games are going. Future Goodwood certainly over. Looks like over on field 5. The game on field 2 is over, and I cannot see field 3 from here. So we'll update the board right after this game. Again, you can always click on those links, and everything will be up to date here before the 2:30 games start. So cruise over to the live bracket board. Give me about 7-8 minutes after the broadcast ends, and we'll get it updated.
Deep.
You can really tell when it's hot out. At 100% on the camera, and they're plugged in. And the main camera is at 79 now. And usually it stays at 100. And kids, here's a tip for you. It's very hot, and when the umpire is doing his third or fourth game in a row, don't aggravate him. And again, you cannot protest a ball or strike call. And a lot of these umpires are, in my humble opinion, a little too lenient. So Chris draws his walk anyway. And it brings up Rich Aceves for his first at-bat of the ball game. So leadoff man on here. And Rich just throws it out there, a little base hit. Camarillo, they're going to try it, and he's safe. And now Rich Aceves just gets a toe back in. That's two big guys there helping each other. I tell you, if Roach's shoe size was a half a size smaller, he'd been out. And they're trying to get Brian to re-enter to run.
Yeah, it does make sense, of course. Somebody coach third, though.
So first and third here. Now they need to get somebody to third base. So runners on the corner here for Sal Ramondo. And Sal, little ground ball, he steps and throws. And Sal didn't run. It was a crazy throw there. He might have been safe.
Here, let me try it again. Sorry.
So they turn a double play. And certainly if you are Lobos, you don't have a problem with that. It's now 11-5. Brings up Creek Costello. Menace down to the last out here. And there's a little flare. And can't make the catch. So Creek Costello hits a little flare. Lobos outfield been really good. Rettenmeyer just couldn't get to it. Well, he actually got to it, but went down on a knee and just kind of juggled it. No, the problem is, for this tournament, it's only a $250 fee. So with payouts and everything else, wasn't in the budget. Plus, it's hard to ask our scorekeepers to do a tremendous job to get out here. So we do not have Game Changer. When we get to Carroll Stream, we will have Game Changer. And Matt Scott gets a base hit. So Creek Costello, down a lot of runs, will just go station to station and brings up Tommy Evett. So 2 outs here, 2 on. 11-5 ball game. Top of the 7th. And Evett, he gets a base hit. Costello will score 11-6. So that double play ball right now, kind of looming big in any potential comeback here. Still got a long way to go. It brings up Dan Higgins. And again, if you're a hitter here, you can't overthink it. You're just trying to throw your best ball out there and put it on the next guy. And that's a towering fly ball. Left fielder got a bead, and Los Lobos swung the bats after the first couple of innings. They win the ball game 11-5. And I'm not sure what games are going on. We'll take a walk and maybe get you a little bit of an update. It's Born Divine. Is this Born Divine or is this the 2:30 game starting early? No. And there's a swing the other way. The left fielder makes a nice catch.
Give him some outfield.
So this is the Gravedigger Born Divine game.
Yo, come on.
What's the score? 10-9? What? Who's winning? 10-9? Okay, well, we'll come and show you. I don't have lineup cards. Born Divine, always dressed on point. So 10-9. 10-9 or 11-9? 10-9. Born Divine, I guess, just took the lead here in the 5th inning. The 2-run homer. I'm going to sneak into the shade here for a couple of seconds. And this looks like Vino. And again, this is a winter bracket game. Both these teams looked pretty good last night. Gravedigger's out of Westchester, I believe. And Born Divine out of Washington Park.
Come on, Jimmy.
So Fino takes a walk. So apparently it was 3 balls. Hey, that's okay. Fino's a good hitter. He wants to swing.
You gonna do the same pitch again? He gonna get it to you.
Don't know yet. I'm hoping Will Russ is out here. We're toying with the. I'm toying with the idea because there's 2 winter bracket games. Fino does get his walk. Brings up Mike.
Hey!
Little ground ball, and they get the fielder's choice.
Boy, Jimmy.
Got a hit.
So the Gravediggers apparently were winning for a while.
Yeah, we're chasing one.
So I don't know. We'll see what game hopefully Will wants to do when he gets out here.
Top 6. Let's go
And
for some runs.
I'm toying with the idea of maybe trying to do 2 streams at once. I'm not even sure if Facebook allows that. So we'll have to, I don't know if I can do it or not. And to be honest with you, that's on me. I should have separated them. One of those teams should have played at 4.
Yeah, top 6.
But we wanted to make sure all the teams had equal amount of rest moving through that winner's bracket and the loser's bracket. 'Cause sometimes it's not fair, and sometimes the weather's a little hotter at 4 than it is 5:30, and so But we'll throw something up on Facebook. We definitely will be showing a 5:30 game. And there's a little ground ball. Throw across. Nice pick. Sixth inning? 6? Okay, top of 6. Huh? Yeah, double. And there's a swing and a base hit the other way. A little bobble by the outfielder. Play at second. Head first slide is safe. So tying run at second base. Again, the left fielder flew in on it, got there, bobbled it, ball rolled away. And that's why we always tell you guys, you got to run hard out of the box. Don't assume that an outfielder is going to pick it up clean, especially in the no-glove game, because you never know what might happen on a bounce out there. Towering fly ball. Right fielder dancing with it, makes the catch. And now the throw gets away and the tying run's going to score. A little bit of a mistake by the right fielder. You're not going to throw that guy out at third. You got to throw it to your cutoff guy. He airmailed it wide of everybody on the infield. The runner was going to stop at third. And the Gravediggers have tied the game at 10, I believe. We already had a 9-inning game between 10 deep and the Goons. And they're going to walk a hitter here. You don't see that often with nobody on base. I can only surmise number 5 on the Gravediggers must be tearing it up. So tied game here, top of the 6th.
Come on, Pat.
Little bonus coverage for you. Ignore the scoreboard.
Two out.
So 2 outs. Runner on first here. And there's a hard ground ball. Short center will just step on it. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. Tie ball game. Gravediggers and Born Divine. So that was interesting strategy. They walked number 5 there in your picture holding the softball. And I guess that's a sign of respect. As a hitter, you don't like it. You want to take your hat. But I'm a big believer that a lot of teams don't walk enough guys. And we didn't catch the front end of the game, so I'm not sure how much damage he may have done in the ball game already. Looks like the traffic game is over. I'm not sure who won. See if they walk by. They always try to tell you who won that game. Brendan. Okay. What was the score? Okay, Barachos beat Traffic 11-4. So Traffic will be playing 10 deep. How you feeling, man? You handling the heat? So here we are, bottom of the 6th.
Come on, Jim.
Looks like Poo-Poo is up. And there's a ground ball. Pitcher a bobble. And then he threw it wild to first anyway. So little hard ground ball, one hopper. Pitcher got his hands up, couldn't corral it, lead run on. So here's a pinch hitter.
Hit for me, Daddy.
Here comes Danny Edwards, long-time solutions guy.
Pick me up around second.
And Danny, a little spin of foul there.
Hold you right here, Poo-Poo.
And Edwards, a little pop-up, and they let it go for strike 3. And that's good thinking. That ball clearly fouled. No reason to try to catch it in case a guy did something crazy. And that's going to bring up Eddie. Even the coach is trying to sneak into the shade. And Poo-Poo can run. If Eddie hits any kind of a stretch single, my guess is that they would try to send him. There's a hard ground ball. Shortstop, long throw on the money. Throw to third. Safe. Nice slide. Slid to the outside part of the bag.
You got 2.
Good job by the third baseman on the catch and the attempted tag. That was a bouncer.
That's my run right there. Where, left field?
That was 11-4. Paracho's over traffic. So lead run on third base here. And there's a little short pop. Shortstop takes charge. And they're going to head to the top of the 7th. Tie ball game.
Come on.
Hey, need him right here.
Good job, defense.
And this is kind of atypical a lot as we get deeper into 8 tournaments. You see the games start to tighten up score-wise. And, you know, this game definitely in jeopardy of going extra innings. And I think this is the last 1 o'clock game still playing. As Lobos won, Traffic won, and Future won. I believe Future was 7-zip over Goodwood. And of course, here's the Spadal from the famous Stooges Spadali family. How's your dad doing? Brother?
Jimmy's doing good, thank you.
Okay. He must have had a hard life because you look a lot better than he does. Just kidding. That was a nutty team, the Stooges. Sammy Dodano, my guy, played on there. He played on the first team I ever played on. TJ's Thugs out of Riverside. Sammy used to moonlight with us. And when Sammy was around, we had to watch ourselves because he was a practical joker. So here's a leadoff base hit. Joe Cousineau slaps it toward the alley. Leadoff single here, top of the 7th. Tie ball game. Joe runs the Gravedigger team. Yesterday, Born Divine. Little, he just slaps it through. Vino was playing him real tight. Shortstop couldn't get there, and he just slapped it through the hole. So the Gravediggers put their first 2 hitters on here in a tie ball game in the top of the 7th. Bonus coverage. And again, I'm fighting a lot of glare, folks, so my camera work's not as pristine as usual. I hope you understand. And you really don't want to walk anybody. Then you give up a real easy RBI spot. And he's kind of building himself into a little bit of a hole here. And that's inside. So he gets the walk. And that's going to load them up here in the top of the 7th.
Come on.
Nobody out for the Diggers.
He's breaking it up hard in the infield. Yeah, breaking it up hard.
And now
in the
it's
middle.
about execution. At a minimum, you want to get one in and both of these guys over.
Right, Michael?
I believe it's the top, but they're really squeezing him in right field. Almost as if we're in the bottom. And what you don't want to do is come in too shallow and give up something over the top. And he is really struggling. Home plate jumping around here a little bit on the pitcher. The depth was good, but the height was too much. And there's a little soft fly ball, and it's going to drop. Foul. The way the left fielder was running, had he caught that, he would not have been in a position to throw the ball. Cousineau would have scored from third. And their outfield is playing very tight, very shallow. There is a slight cross breeze here, blowing toward the left field line. And there's a little roller, and it sneaks through. One is in. Outfielder doesn't pick it up clean. 2 runs are in. Just got it past the short center. 2-run scores. Runners on the corner. Here's a timeout. He's going to go talk to still nobody out here, I believe.
Tag it in the air. Tag it in the air, Juice.
If you're at third here, you don't need to go anywhere. So anything in the air, line drive, fly ball, your job is to go back to the base. If the fly ball gets caught, you tag. If it's a line drive and it gets snagged, you're not doubled off. And if a fly ball gets dropped, you're going to score anyway. A lot of times the first instinct kind of swing is the guy breaks for home. And he either gets doubled up or I know Spadali isn't going in the courtesy run.
Yeah, Jim can come back in. Yeah, Jim can.
So the wheels are grinding here.
Let's go, guys. Go, guys.
Gravediggers tied it in the 6th, taking a lead here. I want to say it's 12-10 Gravediggers. Again, last night, Born Divine won a pair of games 5-3. Grabs a strike there to jump ahead.
Liners through.
No outs still. Tag up. Brett, no outs.
And there's a little slow roller. That's going to get a run in and one over. So that's a nice job there. Vinny, I guess his name is, did the job. 3 runs in here for the Gravediggers. And that'll bring the pitcher up. And there he just punches it. He'll move him to third. Doesn't seem like a lot. I would have to think they got to be toward the top of their lineup now. And what this does, by moving that guy to third, you put a little extra pressure on the defense to make a play on their infield. If he's standing at second and you bobble a ball that doesn't mean the guy's necessarily going to score.
So you want that in the shake? Put it right here. We want
And now they're going to walk this guy.
Here, ice don't melt.
I don't, because I want you to beat you guys coming in.
We're almost done. We're in the bottom.
And I know a lot of hitters that don't like it when you walk guys to get to them. Let's see how this kid responds. And he swings and he pounds it. Shortstop mishandles it. 4th run scores. And that's why when you move a guy, it puts pressure. So we'll see. They walked 5 his last time up. I want to say the Diggers have pushed 3 across. They're going to walk him again. And it brings up 9. The second time he's come up after they've walked 5. 2 outs here. Everybody's going to be running on the swing. And he drives it through. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in, 5 is going to be sent, and he's going to score. The Gravediggers exploding here in the 7th.
Let's go!
And I got to tell you, when you're standing on first,
Come on!
when you're standing on first after they walk the guy, you feel awful good about it. And they have spun the lineup. Cousineau, the leadoff, led this inning off, is up. 2 outs. How many runs you got this inning? 6 or 7 runs this inning.
Luke. Murray.
So they're up 7. This was a tie game coming in.
We're not stopping yet, JoJo. Come on, buddy. Hit a good pitch.
Here's the guy that lit the fuse this inning. So I think it's 17-10 right now. I'll try to fix the scoreboard, but that'll be for future
JoJo, hit a
reference.
good pitch.
Hey, attaboy, Pat! Come on,
So
Joe!
here's Cousineau.
Good!
And he hits a high fly ball, and that's going to be
Let's
caught.
go, 3 outs.
So 17-10 in the bottom of the 7th here, do or die for Born Divine. So big explosion in what was a nip and tuck game.
Let's play some D, boys.
So it brings up the shortstop, Mike. And we'll see if Born Divine's got any magic.
Left
left.
fielder's name, Anthony. David, he can cut. He can cut.
Let's go.
Mikey, he can cut.
And there's a little soft pop-up. Cousineau by the screen. And he rolls off of it, but he holds on. Cousineau makes the catch. As he cradled it to his body as he rolled around the fence there. And let's see if this replay wants to work for us or not.
Come on, Jimmy, let's go.
Here to pitch. Come on, Jimmy. Hit your pitch, Jimmy. Hit your pitch.
Sorry, folks. This replay's been hanky all day in the seat. Like I said, I'm leaking battery in this hot weather. But the good news is it didn't conk out. And there's a little ground ball short center. So 2 up, 2 down here. Gravediggers trying to advance to the final 4 of the winner's bracket. And it brings up Vino. Yeah, we're going to see. I mean, I'm going to have to let the equipment cool off here. So that's just the problem, man. The weather's been so brutal for about 3 weeks out here. We will have a 5:30 game. That's a fact. And usually when Will shows up, I give him his option of who he wants to broadcast. And there's a 2-out walk.
Y'all gonna make me play all alone.
So here's Lucky. Got an unusual jersey on. He's got his name and number on the front. Makes you wonder if he's got the shirt on backwards or not. Never quite seen that. And Lucky, pop-up shortstop going back, makes the catch. So Gravediggers, on the strength of a 7-run explosion in the top of the 7th, advanced to the final 4 of the winner's bracket. And they're a happy group. Born Divine is not done. They will still be in the loser's bracket. So we're going to click off here. I'm not sure who they're playing next, but we're going to click off. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be on air a little bit later today.